In this video we are going to study about triangle law of vector addition. Very important topic. This is the only law which we use to define whether a physical quantity is vector or scalar. So it is the most important law. You can say that it is the most important law of vectors. Triangle law of vector addition. This law simply states that if there are two or more vectors and if they can be added in this way, the way that is defined by this law that I am going to tell you later, but if those vectors can be added by the rules defined by this law, only then that quantity will be considered as a vector quantity. If those quantities cannot be added according to triangle law of vector addition, then they are the scalar quantities. Okay, and that is the reason why time and current, although both of them have directions, are not considered vector quantities. That is for you to find out why, how they are not obeying triangle law of vector addition, both time and current. So triangle law of vector addition, suppose we have two vectors, vector A and vector B. These are two vectors and I have to add them. I have to see if they can be added. So according to this law, how will we add this? We will arrange A and B in such a way. We will arrange A and B in such a way that the tail, this is the tail and this is the head of vector. Tail of vector coincides with head of the other vector. That means I can keep it as it is, and B I will be arranging like this. So this will be your vector B. Tail of vector B will coincide with the head of vector A. So if the two vectors are arranged in this way, then the third side of the triangle, now this is a triangle, the third side, this hypotenuse, will give us the resultant. This will be your resultant vector, and this resultant will be equal to vector A plus vector B. So what does this law says? It says that if two vectors are arranged in this way, then the third side of the triangle will give us the resultant, will give us the summation of these two vectors, and this is called resultant. So I am denoting it with R. Okay. So this is the triangle law of vector addition. So very simple, it's making a triangle. We are going to add according to the side of triangle. And notice the direction of R vector. R is going from the tail of A to the head of B. This has to be made like this only. If you reverse the direction, if this head of R comes here, then it will be minus R. Okay, remember this. So you have to memorize this diagram just like this. Tail of vector A, head of vector A, tail of vector B, head of vector B. The resultant vector will join the tail of vector A and head of vector B, and this resultant will be equal to A plus B. So this is the triangle law of vector addition. From this law comes another law called parallelogram law of vector addition. Now it has nothing else to offer. It is just another way of understanding triangle law. It is not a separate law. It does not have its own rules. It is just another way to represent triangle law of vector addition. There is another law, polygon law. Okay, so there can be many laws. The basic law is the triangle law. What does parallelogram law says? It says that same two vectors A and B, if they are arranged like this, tail of B coincides with tail of A. If they are arranged like this, then we can form a parallelogram like this. A parallelogram can be formed, and then the diagonal which is connecting the tails of two vectors and the opposite side of the parallelogram, this will give us the resultant. Formula is same because the basic law is same. Again you can see here, this triangular law is already in the parallelogram law. We know in maths we have studied, in the parallelogram the opposite sides are equal. So if this is B, then this side should be B also. So I can say that this is also vector B. Now if you ignore this, then this is a triangle. It is the same diagram A, B and R that we formed in the triangle law of vector addition. So that is what I was saying, that parallelogram law is another way of defining triangular law of vector addition. Okay, so now we are going to do a derivation, a small derivation. How can we use triangular law of vector addition to find magnitude of a vector, of vectors, combination of vectors, and direction of the resultant. From now on we are going to have more than one vector, because now we are going to study motion in a plane. So there will be not just one vector, there will be more than one vector. There can be two vectors. So in a plane we need two vectors to define the various parameters. So we need to find out the resultant. So let us draw the diagram again. So this was vector A, this was vector B, this was the resultant. Okay, now let us say that the angle between vector, now vector A and B are not in the same direction, they are in two different directions. Let us say that angle between vector A and B, where will be the angle between vector A and B? This will be the angle. This is the angle between A and B, not this. Okay, make sure you understand this, because A is going in this direction. So if A is going in this direction and B is going in this direction, then the angle between both of them will be this one. Okay, not the other way around. So theta is the angle between A and B vectors. And let us say that this is resultant and this is making an angle beta. So beta is the angle between resultant vector and vector A. We can take B also, that I will tell you later, that does not make any difference. So this is, I extend the vector A in this direction and I drop a perpendicular here. So let us denote these points P, Q. So this is the diagram that we have. P and Q and O and Q, both are right triangles, 90 degrees here. I have dropped a perpendicular. Now in triangle PQN, in this triangle, if we apply trigonometry, then sine theta will be equal to NQ divided by hypotenuse, which is PQ. Now remember, PQ is B and OP is A. So NQ equals to PQ. This will give us NQ equals to PQ sine theta, or NQ equals to PQ is B, so I can write B sine theta. Okay, so this is one value. If we take out cos theta in this triangle P and Q, then cos theta is equal to base by hypotenuse, so it will be Pn divided by hypotenuse PQ. So this will give us Pn equals to PQ cos theta, or Pn equals to B cos theta. Okay. Now let us take triangle ONQ, the bigger triangle ONQ, triangle ONQ. Now in this triangle, if we apply Pythagoras theorem, in triangle ONQ, if we apply Pythagoras theorem, then OQ square will be equal to ON square plus NQ square. We are applying Pythagoras theorem. Okay. OQ is the resultant. So R square equals to ON. ON can be written as OP plus PN. So OP plus PN whole square plus NQ square. Now PN and NQ can be taken from here. So I can write OP is vector A. This is vector A. So I can write A plus PN is B cos theta square plus NQ. NQ is B sin theta square of, it will be B square sin square theta. Now if you open this, this will be equal to A square plus 2AB cos theta plus B square cos square theta plus B square sin square theta. Now if I combine these two, then B square can be taken out as common, and inside the bracket there will be cos square theta plus sin square theta, which is a trigonometric identity. Its value will be 1. So what we are going to get here, we are going to get only B square. We are going to get B square only. Okay. This is equal to R square. Now remember, R is the resultant. Now from this formula we can say that R, the magnitude of the two vectors that we added, the result, the magnitude of that result, that is given by root of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. This will be the formula for the magnitude of the resultant. Okay. So for two vector quantities a and b, I already gave you the magnitude of the resultant. Remaining thing is direction, because it is a vector quantity. So both magnitude and direction both are important. This is just the magnitude. Direction we have to find out. Direction of what? Direction of the resultant. Because that is what we are going to find out, the direction of the resultant. Now the angle between resultant and vector A was taken as beta. So in this triangle I can write tan beta, same triangle, ONQ, same triangle. Tan beta is equal to, it will be base perpendicular by base, so perpendicular is NQ and base was ON. Okay, NQ was B sin theta. ON again it can be written as OP plus PN, where OP is A and PN is B cos theta. It was B cos theta. Okay, so this will be the formula. So tan beta equals to B sin theta upon A plus B cos theta. This will be your direction of the resultant. If you need to find out the actual angle, you will take tan on this side and it will be tan inverse of this quantity. That will give you the value of beta also. So this will give us the direction, this will give us the magnitude of the resultant. Now in the starting I told you that beta can be taken with another vector also. It is not necessary that you take beta with this vector only. Beta can be taken as that angle between resultant and vector B also. How will you take it? You can make a parallelogram. Angle B, vector B, it can be like this. This is a parallelogram. If this side is B, then this side is also B. Then beta will become, you can also take beta as this angle. If you change the angle, this formula will also change. Now tan beta will be equal to A sin theta upon B plus A cos theta. You can do it yourself and find out same way. Okay, so these are the two important formula. Magnitude of resultant, direction of the resultant. So very important, understand this. We are going to apply both of these formula in almost every numerical. Okay, so make sure that you understand this.